I've noticed whenever I'm in an antique shop, there's always a strange energy in the air. The larger and more antique feel it is, the harder this energy permeates in the air. It's hard to describe this feeling exactly. It's almost somewhere between a melancholy feeling of being haunted and also a liminal space. Almost as if walking on hallowed ground, but one that you can purchase things from. Take a painting they might have, for example. Someone, many years ago, purchased their canvas and paint and spent hours, if not days, weeks, months, years, learning how to paint. They then sold or gifted it to someone who put it in their house, where for years people walked by, admired it, looked at it, and enjoyed it before being resold and moved to who knows how many times to different houses before ending up here in this antique shop. A relic that once hung on people's walls and overheard countless conversations, arguments, and life events now sits here silently. I'm always nostalgic around this time of year. My birthday is also in December, so the end of the year really feels like the closing of a chapter to me. It's always been a time of reflection and a time to look back where I am compared to where I was last year or a few years prior. And I always laughed at the thought of how little I knew then compared to how much I know now. Every year that thought just reoccurs time and time, over and over again. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, as they say. It is sweet and inviting. The warmth it can bring a person, I believe, is good in small doses. I've come to the realization that no situation is ever perfect. There will always be a price to pay, caveat, catch, if you will. However, given enough time, we always tend to remember the good times in any situation, while the bad ones become a vague inconvenience. And this contrast only seems to grow in time. There are so many points in my life that I would give almost anything to go back and relive for a week. I wouldn't want to stay there forever, but for 1 week of that place, that girl, those friends, that job, those experiences, all of it, sometimes I would give almost anything to go back. All of us with our hopes, dreams, and desires, traits and flaws, all thrown together in this fleeting moment in space, on a tiny corner of a massive boulder in an infinitely vast ocean of space. An unimaginable number of variables had to line up for this group of people to wind up around each other, and yet here we are. I think the most bittersweet aspect of it is even if you could gather up all those people and bring them back to the same place, it would never really quite be the same. And how could it, for how fast we grow and change? That's why we reach out to exes in time of loneliness, or gather up the bros when a sequel to a beloved childhood game relaunches. Still fun in its own way, but it's never quite how it was. And we all tend to kind of sit there upon an unspoken agreement, not really pointing it out, but choosing instead to silently suspend belief and just drink in for a moment times we spent together in the past. I can't help but wonder if this growing desire to revisit the past has been prevalent in previous generations as it appears to be in mine and adjacent generations, or if it is a byproduct of the newfound difficulty people seem to be experiencing. I should clarify that I am speaking from an American point of view, as I do not know how life is in the rest of the world, but here it doesn't feel like most people have much hope for the future. Crushing student loans and useless college degrees, a seemingly impossible to breach housing market, and the concept of a spouse and kids being a death knell on not only your finances, but what little self-agency you might have had left. It's not hard to understand this aura of disdain and apathy that seems to be in the very air itself. All this is to say, I'm not trying to go full doomer. I actually believe we are on the precipice of the world, the likes of which we have never seen before. It will be a world where the common man realizes that the way people got ahead in the past don't work anymore. The days of I'm going to go to work at my 9 to 5 whatever job, 40 hours a week, and then go and spend 20% of my paycheck on the week partying and having a good time, and still be able to go home and live in a nice apartment and life. Those days are over. Now, that lifestyle will get you trapped, living paycheck to paycheck, with barely enough money left over to buy a cheap bottle of liquor to drink alone over the weekend while you get ready to go back to work on Monday. The counter side of this is now we're seeing new avenues to freedom. Avenues that either never existed before or were always out of reach of the common man. And as much as people might not like to hear me say it, it's because of the AI revolution we are experiencing. I'm always asking ChatGPT things. One of my favorite things to ask, research about it, is how to get into various career positions. For example, I was driving around town and I saw one of those giant, massive tower cranes working on a new high-rise here in the city. And when I got home, I asked Chat, how do I become that guy? It laid out a full 4-year plan of, well, first you need to get a basic rigging certification. It takes about a week long and costs this much. Next, you're going to apply for some entry-level rigging construction jobs. After about 3 to 6 months of that, you're going to want to start looking for jobs that involve boom trucks, crawler cranes, spider cranes, entry-level crane work. Once you land one of those, you're going to start working on this certification. And it goes further and further down that path until you get to be that city skyline skyscraper crane guy. And it's new tech. It's far from perfect. And I would definitely do my own research where I go to start down this path. But it's so wild that a guy can go and, with nothing more than a sentence, how do I become this person, get a full plan to nudge them in that direction. It's not perfect. It's based on everything being ideal and going correctly, but it was still something to push that person in that direction. And I think that is absolutely just miraculous. For someone who feels lost, you can type it in how lost you're feeling and just get a push in the right direction to go take a look at. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the past is gone and the future is here. And it is up to you to make the sacrifices to get to where you want to be. One example, I saw a guy on Twitch a little while back, probably in his 70s, on Twitch playing his acoustic guitar and sometimes singing. And this guy had over 5,000 people watching him. 5,000. And don't get the wrong impression, this guy was very talented. He had a great voice. But let's be honest, if Grandpa came to you and said, hey, I'm going to start playing guitar and streaming it, you would smile and nod and say, okay, Grandpa, let me know if you need help with that, sir. And you would put it out of your mind and move on without it. Move on. You wouldn't think about it anymore. Let alone, you look him up and Grandpa now has 5,000 people listening to his guitar on Twitch. I don't know the Twitch money conversion, but I'm like 5,000 people. There's got to be something there if you can manage to get that many people listening to you. It is what it is. The world we grew up in is gone. You can buy all the Lego sets. You can play all the remasters. You can gather up the bros and go grab a beer at the old stomping grounds. But it's never going to be quite the same. I've learned when you're in the good times, you really got to enjoy every second of it. Because once it's gone, it's gone. There's no recreating. There's no going back. You could gather everyone up and put them in the same place, same conditions, it wouldn't be the same. How could it be? I've always got more to say, but I don't want this to drag on too much. I'm a very small YouTube channel, and people tend to check out very quickly. As of writing this, I'm up to 34 subs, and I know most in the vast ecosystem of YouTube, 34 people is nothing, but to me it's huge. Like the idea of having 34 people listening to you. Imagine 34 people in the room you are in right now. That room would probably be so packed you couldn't move around. And when I see that sub counter go up, it really does make my day. It's wild. As small as that is, that number makes my day. You make my day. It's no secret that I am trying to get this channel monetized. I'm pretty straightforward about that. And now that the subs are starting to trickle in, I feel like I've kind of like I've figured out what it is to get people to listen. Hopefully, maybe. I play the game. I post the shorts. I link to the long forms, and I just kind of put it out there in the hopes it resonates with someone. And I've had a couple people reach out to me already saying, like, what you're saying makes sense to me, which is huge in a way, because I'm a normal guy. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. Your average person doesn't care about what I have to say. My friends care. My family care. The people I work with, whose respect I've earned because I'm there shoulder to shoulder in the shit with them grinding, I've earned their respect, and so they care about what I have to say. But as far as walking down the street, no one's coming up to me and being like, hey, how do you feel about the socioeconomic views of this and that? So it's kind of wild that I can put this out there and talk to the void, and every once in a while get a response saying, I like what, someone's saying that what I say resonates with them. So that's why we're here. On that note, I'm going to wrap it up. Please do like and sub. Subs go a long way. They are pretty much while I'm here. And this will probably be the last video this year, but I got plenty more scheduled. So hope you enjoyed what I had to say, and hope you have a good weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one.